Welcome. How to use homeopathy for anxiety even if you're breastfeeding. So, we're talking about homeopathic medicine and how to use it properly. And if you haven't used homeopathy yet, I'll show you a picture in a few moments. It's these little tablets that hold medicine in it. So, why use homeopathy? It's quick, efficient, and it could work within 20 or 5 minutes. It's soothing and takes away anxiety, and it can do no harm. But it's hard to use if you haven't had any proper training. It could take years to figure out. So, some mistakes we make is buying the wrong dose. So, make sure you're purchasing 6C or 30C. That's the safest for beginners. We don't watch and wait. We give too many doses, sort of like conventional medication. We want to be really observant of our symptoms rather than just taking anything. And we don't know what to look for because an increase in symptoms is usually a good thing. So, for example, once I had a fever and I took a homeopathic remedy, I ended up getting sick. And then moments later, the fever was gone, it broke, and I felt better. So that's how homeopathic medicine works. Within moments, you should see a shift in something towards health. For example, if you're not thirsty, now you're thirsty. If you have a stomach ache, maybe you vomit. So those would be good things. It's coming out of your body. So, what exactly is homeopathy? It's a system of alternative medicine created in 1796 by Samuel Hahnemann based on his doctrine of like cures like. You can sort of say it's like a vaccination, but they're using natural substances in the homeopathic medicine. It's typically made from minerals, plants, animals, poisons of animals, and bees. But because it's so diluted, you will not harm yourself. So, how is it made? The first stage of homeopathic medicine is to create a tincture. And we talked about tinctures in the last video. It's either succussed or hit downward, is what succussion means. And it's titrated for thousands and thousands of times. So, they take the full tincture. They take a drop out of that tincture and add water to it. They succuss it, and then they repeat that again and again and again, and it's called potentization. So you're actually left with pretty much water, and this is now added to a tablet or a pill, the little sugar tablets that you see, and that's what homeopathic medicine is. So many people don't believe that it works because it's, in essence, it's just water. So how does it work? There's many theories. The more the remedy is diluted and succussed, the stronger it becomes. That's why you want to buy just a 6C or a 30C. One theory is the succussion creates an electrochemical pattern, which is stored in the water and mimics the water in our body, kind of like a liquid crystal, if you think of an ice crystal or even a leaf pattern. So the medicine is matching the water in our body. A second thought is the dilution process triggers this imprinting, which affects the electromagnetic field of the body. So sometimes if you keep homeopathic medicine in too wet of a place or too hot of a place, or say, for example, you purchase from Amazon and it's sitting in, on a cabinet for years, then the remedy may not be as strong or healthy, let's say, because it's now been affected due to heat. So there's 5 steps for using homeopathic medicine. Number 1, you're always to be a keen observer. So you always want to write down your symptoms, and it's actually best if someone else writes them down. So if you're struggling with insomnia, anxiety, overwhelm, then have someone else write down what they see of you. Choose one remedy at a time, ideally not a blended remedy. Watch and wait. Use less is more. So you take one dose, you wait 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then maybe take another dose. and your symptoms should move outward. So depending on how you're using homeopathic medicine, you might break out in a skin rash, or you might get a fever, or something may happen, and then the original symptom is resolved. So step number 1, you want to be a keen observer. It's the law of similar. Let liked be cured with liked. So any substance that makes you ill can also cure you. So there's a book called Materia Medica. It's the Encyclopedia of Remedies, and it matches your symptoms to the remedy. So you want to write down every symptom that you see and be a keen observer. Again, this is easier when you're looking at someone else, say your child or maybe your teenager has anxiety, then you're just writing down what you notice. Again, if it's you're trying to treat, ideally it's best if someone writes down your symptoms. Choose one remedy. So ideally, you're just choosing one remedy. For example, aconite for fear. So if you wake up in the middle of the night startled and it's between 12 and 2 a.m., aconite 30C is the best remedy for you. If there was an accident or trauma, right at that moment, if you had aconite, that would be the perfect remedy. So you're looking for one single remedy. These days, they make a variety of remedies that have a bunch of things in them, and sometimes it hits on your unique need. So the hardest part is to wait. So you're taking the remedy and then you're waiting. And then maybe you take another dose and then you're waiting. So when it comes to children's health, croup is the middle of the night. Again, the same remedy as aconite. I have a video about this on my YouTube channel. And you would give them one dose of aconite, wait, and then maybe give them a second dose, but majority of the time they go to sleep right after that. So when it's your fear as well, aconite will work. So you're watching and waiting. Step number 4, or lesson number 4, is less is more. So how can you use less and still produce a result? If you were to take more, what happens is you actually prove the remedy. So your symptoms may get worse, but not resolve. And then the next thing to look for is that the symptoms move outward. So cure moves from within to without, takes place from above to below, in a clearing to your hands and feet, and possibly ending with a skin eruption. So ideally, your symptoms reverse. So for example, if you had a skin rash and you put a topical cream on it, that rash would now go in towards your body and create some other symptom, say digestive issues or, whatever would happen, right? And then when you take the right remedy, that rash may return. So the goal is to allow it to move out. So this was originally made for children's health. That's why there's a lot of kids pictures here, but things move outwards. And this is my daughter, Eva. So you would potentially get a fever, diarrhea, vomit, or maybe not even. Maybe you would just go to sleep, when it comes to anxiety. But when you're thinking of a panic attack, it would take one dose, and within moments, you should feel relaxed. So this is how homeopathic medicine should work. Again, the symptoms spike and then resolve. Where when you're thinking about herbal medicine, it may take a longer time. That's why it's so important to learn how to use homeopathic medicine correctly, because it can help you for many, many symptoms. It also shifts your mindset, so that's the additional benefit. So be a keen observer. Choose one remedy, watch and wait, minimal dose, and the symptoms should move outward. So just keep in mind, less is more. So again, there's different potencies, which is how much they diluted the medicine. And there's 2 scales for diluting it, the decimal, which is an X, and centesimal, which is a C. Less is more. So 30X is more dilute, and stronger than, say, a 6X, which is why I suggest starting with the 6X. When using C potency, it's best if you're working with a homeopathic doctor or someone trained in it, or there's also M potencies as well. So stick with 6C, 12C even, or 30C when you're just learning how to use homeopathic medicine. So provings is the name given to the homeopathic medicine of testing a substance to establish their symptom pictures. All symptoms, physical, emotional, and mental, are noted in detail, then gathered into what's called the materia medica. There are hundreds of remedies, and it can be very, very confusing. So what you're looking for is the key symptom you're experiencing. For example, if you're having a panic attack and your face is flushed, that might be a different remedy than if you have a pale white face, right? Or if your heart rate is beating uncontrollably compared to you just want to lay down and close the shades and lie in bed. So there's different symptoms, and the provings are based on your unique symptoms. The vital force, balancing mechanism that keeps us in health. So it's our joy of life. It's who you originally are, and homeopathic medicine can bring you back to that person. And there's two different types of homeopathic ways to use homeopathy. One is an acute situation when you have anxiety, and then one is looking at your constitutional remedy. So that would be a huge intake, an hour intake of all of your unique cravings and, very detailed information about you. And then there's one remedy for your body to bring you back into health. Just one remedy. So homeopathic medicine acts as a catalyst, the remedy stimulating the body's own vital force to heal itself. For example, when my husband passed away in front of me, I saw the homeopath. I saw a bunch of people, but I saw the homeopath, and she gave me an M potency of nature mur, NATMUR. And it was so diluted that I was supposed to take it, or I did take it for a long period of time. In the moment I did take it, I felt relief right away. So that's the goal with homeopathy, is that slow and steady when it's a constitutional remedy. And when there's acute remedy, then you should see an uptick in symptoms. So how can we use this for anxiety, panic, and overwhelm? You want to find the right remedy based on your unique symptoms. So look at the cheat sheet below and start writing down what your unique symptoms are. Once you find the remedy, you want to tip the tablet into the lid of the bottle and then take it in your mouth. You're trying not to touch it, ideally, and you don't want to put any tablets back that have fallen out. Again, think of it like as an energy source. So you want to keep it in a cool, dark place. You don't want to keep it in the car or really in the bathroom at all. And you don't want to eat, drink, or brush your teeth for 10 to 20 minutes before or after taking the remedy. Now, the one remedy I would suggest to get is aconite 30C or 6C, especially if your child has croup or between the ages of 2 and 6. It works for that. And if you get a panic attack, that would be a great remedy for you to try, and you would suck on the tablets until the panic went away. So you can crush the tablets if needed, and when my kids were young, I would actually put it in water and use a syringe to give it to them. Most likely you don't need this. You could actually put these tablets in water and sip on it all day, depending on the remedy. I wouldn't do that with aconite, but you could sip on it all day. Just make sure that you're washing the water bottle out really well, because it will hold the energy, right? If you're using this with children, you can crush the tablets depending on the age of your child and dilute in water, milk, or juice. But again, you want to really clean the cup with hot water so that the remedy doesn't pass on to anyone else using that cup. So I go into homeopathic medicine in my home remedies for children's course. So things that interfere, why they won't work for you, why it won't work for you. You might have chosen the wrong remedy. Additionally, camphor or tiger balm interacts with this, electric blankets, believe it or not, and some holistic therapies like acupuncture, craniosacral. You'd want to use one remedy at a time, one therapy at a time, just to see what is working for you. Strong odors, so that's why we recommend taking the remedy 30 minutes before or an hour after eating or drinking. Major dental work, and in some excessive cases of consumption of coffee and stimulants, and street drugs, including marijuana. So these are reasons homeopathic medicine would not work for you. And also peppermint toothpaste. So keep that in mind. Any mint or camphor. So write down your unique and strange symptoms. Search for that one remedy based on your one unique symptom. So say you write down all these symptoms and things that have changed in your body, then you're looking for one unique symptom that is really different in you, and that's where you want to search the remedy for. If you've given 6 doses and have had no response, stop and reassess. I wouldn't even go that high. I'd try 1 dose of homeopathy, rest, wait, try another dose, rest, wait, and maybe a 3rd. If you don't feel any different, it's probably the wrong remedy for you. Change the remedy when the symptoms change, so you're always watching and waiting, and seek professional if your symptoms recur. I'm going to leave a link below to something called a nerve tonic, which is a general homeopathic blend that really calms your nervous system. So your symptoms are an expression of a need and a call of help from your body. You need a remedy picture to make an accurate diagnosis. It doesn't have to be identical, merely similar. The symptoms should match the materia medica. So if you're really interested in this, there's so many websites online that you could look for, but also you might want to get the materia medica book, and then you can really search up the remedy and see if that matches your symptoms. So questions to ask before giving homeopathy. So you don't want to just down these pills and pray for a miracle. You want to look at, smell, see, feel, hear. When it comes to children, they can't describe it, but you as a mom probably recognize that right away. But for your unique symptoms, overwhelm, anxiety, insomnia, start writing down what time you're waking up in the middle of the night. Is it midnight? Is it 2 a.m., 3 a.m.? What do you see or smell? Are you hot or cold? Are you happy or sad? So you're taking notes about your unique symptoms. The smell is the first thing we notice. So notice what smells that's unique to you. And then what does your face look like? What does your skin look like? What is your sleeping situation? Do you want your head to be covered? Are you hot, cold? So this is all in your handout there to see your unique symptoms, but write them down and then know that there's one remedy for you. Then, once you find all these symptoms you're experiencing, highlight the one that's bothering you the most. What is agitating you the most? Circle that, and then search online if you like as homeopathic remedy for XYZ, and then look at those unique symptoms and match it to the remedy itself. Don't rush, take your time, and then remember you're purchasing a 6C or a 30C to match the remedy. So download, it's called a repertoizing cheat sheet below, and write down your unique symptoms. Again, I'll put a general nerve tonic below that is safe for everyone, and you can take that to calm your nervous system down. The highest ideal of cure is the speedy, gentle, and enduring restoration of health by the most trustworthy and least harmful way. So less is more. Here are some books that I like if you want to take a screenshot. I'll also leave some links below. And these are great beginner homeopathic books for you to try, especially if you have children. because then you can match their symptoms to the remedy as well. And I go into greater detail again in the Home Remedies for Children course. Let me know if you have any questions.